What is up, guys? Welcome to episode number 157 of Beef's Beef. And I have another good one for you guys today. But before that, let's get to the sponsors, get this knocked out, make sure they, are happy with their read here so that hopefully they can get some people to, invest in them like they have me. And we can get to this great interview that I have set up for you guys. So first, Crystal Lackey at Stockton Mortgage. Hit up my friend Crystal, especially now. She just had her beautiful baby boy. You know, even if you just write her a message to say congratulations and, maybe that you'll contact her in the future, whatever. But anything as far as the home loan refinancing, mortgage needs, anything like that, hit up my friend Crystal Lackey at Stockton Mortgage. You can get in contact with her at 502-615-0743. Again, it's 502-615-0743. Stockton Mortgage is an equal housing lender, MLS number 8259. Crystal Lackey, MLS number 1735979. Next is Delium Clothing. You see the shirt here? Boom. And he just got a new building. I just saw that. He posted the key. I need to get in contact with him. I feel bad for I haven't written him yet. I liked it and said congrats on there, but I haven't said anything to him yet. Make sure you hit on my guy, Isaac at Delium Clothing. That's Delium Clothing on Facebook, at Delium Clothing on Instagram. You can find his clothing at Him's Gentleman Boutique in downtown New Albany. Delium is a men's and women's minimalistic brand that focuses on modern aesthetic and quality. Everything comes pre-shrunk and ready to wear. So just like I say every time, if you're a bigger guy like me and you worry about putting something in the dryer because it's going to shrink, you ain't got to worry about it with this. Again, you can find his stuff, his men's line now at Him's Gentleman Boutique in downtown New Albany. Delium Clothing on Facebook, at Delium Clothing on Instagram. So, guys, I have a great interview for you guys set up. I've kind of been trying to get this done for a little bit, but I finally got it set up thanks to my good friend Javante. For you guys today, I have former PRP football great, former Western Kentucky great, two-time first team all CUSA in football, third round pick of the Tennessee Titans in the 2017 draft, and current Cleveland Browns wide receiver Taywan Taylor. I'm pretty excited for you guys to hear this interview. I was talking with him earlier. He's excited after we've been talking a little bit. He's excited to do the interview as well. So, guys, without further ado, Taywan Taylor. All right, guys, I'm here with Taywan. Thanks for joining me today, man.
No problem. Thanks for having me, my guy, for sure.
For sure. So, I got in contact with you through a mutual friend of ours, Javante. So, Javante, shout out to you. Thanks for getting this set up for us. But
bro. Shout out to bro.
Yeah, yep. let's just get into it. So growing up in the Louisville area and playing sports, basketball and football, were you a fan of any local teams? Louisville, UK, or even Western Kentucky, where you ended up going?
It's crazy. It's actually crazy. Coming from Louisville, being born and raised, I actually wasn't a fan of neither Louisville or Kentucky, which some people, they give me a fuss about. But I pretty much was, I was a mix. So in basketball growing up, my favorite team was the Tar Heels, UNC. So that was the squad right there. I just grew up watching all them boys ball. Obviously I grew up watching our city too, but them guys just really caught my eye, obviously. So that was my team. And football, my team was the Gators, Tim Tebow, Aaron Hernandez, RP, Chris Rainey, all them boys. So that was the squad right there. I kind of pretty much was in between, but I never really grew on the U of L, U of K, even being from home. So people always thought that was a little funny.
Yeah, it's different. Most of the time when people don't really like a team from the local area, they've moved in from somewhere. So you lived here your entire life and never really caught on to any of them?
Yep. Lived here, my whole life, and like I said, I always grew up watching them. I knew the Cardinals. Back in the day, I used to watch, Taekwondo Dean. I definitely used to watch Larry O'Bannon, them guys, Francisco Garcia, all them guys. So and obviously they had coach. You couldn't Cardinals, so they were definitely, well known. But I just did. Yep, my team was just the Tar Heel, so I was the Tar Heel kid. Tyler Hansborough, Ramsfield, and them guys. I just, obviously Danny Green. So it was a ballers to me. So that's just my squad. But I know a couple of people. They like different teams. Around Louisville. So and they're from here as well. So but yeah, it's kind of different.
So you attended PRP for high school. In your
Mm-hmm.
senior year, you started off really well, going over
Mm-hmm.
100 receiving yards in 4 of the first 5 games. And
Mm-hmm.
with not only that, you had 10 receptions in those first 5 games. So what
Mm-hmm.
went into what if you can think back to then, what went into you starting so well? What did you focus on, your junior to senior year to say, this is going to be a huge year for me and really propelled you into having a great start to the season?
Oh yeah, well, it's kind of crazy because from my junior year to senior year, I kind of felt like I had a growth spurt that I didn't even know. My coach, my senior year, my coach at the time, Coach Jason Heiser and Coach Tommy Williams, they even told me, came back, was like, and you look like a new player, a new man. Like, well, what'd you do? And they basically asked me, what'd you do? But I was really just lifting. We had a high school lifting program back in the day, so it was just, it was just routine. So I pretty much was doing that. I was trying to do little stuff outside of that, but I really wasn't doing too much. I really wasn't that I wasn't that polished in that area yet of being disciplined enough to go outside and extra work. I mean, I was trying to, but I was really more so getting that work in and there. But I was taking advantage of that work. I feel like that I was getting when I was with the team. I was maximizing. I was doing maxing out. I was going over my strengths and stuff. And coach, he took notice of it. He always kept telling me, keep pushing myself in that way. So I think they helped a lot. Just trying to push myself, going from junior to senior, and definitely trying to just make sure I was going to become a better player and improve my game. That was basically my mentality. Just like I said, trying to take advantage and capitalize and maximize every day for sure.
So I know, basketball wise, they have AAU and stuff like that. But I mean, did you take advantage of like 7-on-7 leagues or anything like that? Like, is that something that also kind of helped you? Because I know a lot of times in those 7-on-7 leagues, you're playing against the best players in the state, and
Mm-hmm.
it maximizes your potential with that. I feel like as well.
Oh yeah. Well, I really wasn't into 7-on-7. I don't think that was. Yeah, we had it. We did have it like back in middle school and stuff, but I don't think that that was like middle school. But I never really was outside of that. I wasn't into 7-on-7 like football, organized team activities. Yeah, I was just more so just basketball, football, high school programs. Where I went to school, um, and and I did one camp. I didn't even go to camps, all throughout middle and high school. So I went to one camp, and that was for like every player in Jefferson County at the time. So every player was a part of that. So that was one of those things where I was just, trying to play, trying to grind, just trying to earn my stripes. And like I said, my main focus was like trying to be better. Being so young, us in high school, players, they like nowadays, I was probably say it's different, but back then, well, like when we was growing up, everybody was just trying to earn the stripes. So I think that's what one of those was. So I think that was definitely my case, trying to earn those stripes and, basically trying to, just make sure I was getting better every day.
I didn't put this on there, but this you talking about that just made me kind of think. Is there something that maybe you wish you would have done differently to maybe propel yourself as maybe like putting yourself out there more, or maybe like something you could give like a pointer to maybe a kid that is in your position that now that maybe you could say, hey, I wish I would have done this.
Absolutely, for sure. Definitely, kids nowadays definitely use everything we got at our access, at their access, like social media and stuff like that. And like even if you don't use that, just yes, sir, like for real, trying to be more vocal, being vocal to your parents, like trying to get involved, go to camps and stuff like that, get more exposure because only so much of that stuff is gonna come to you. I think kids definitely do need that nowadays, especially coming from Louisville. It's not a lot of exposure. I feel like I definitely know we didn't get that. Um, coming out of high school my senior year, around those years, like I feel like it was selective when it came to that. So definitely, but and at the end of the day, everybody has to earn it. So that was definitely the mentality, and it's always gonna be the mentality. But I would definitely advise all these kids now that's in high school and these boys that's trying to get it. Definitely keep putting yourself out there and using everything you can. Especially you balling, you definitely do that stuff for sure.
Put yourself out there. Or don't put yourself out there like that kid did to Cam Newton the other day. Don't do it
Oh
that way.
yeah, don't do it
Don't
that
do it
way.
that
Right?
way.
Yeah, that's going too far now. Yeah, you can't. Yeah, then you going. Yep. So that's when you give them. You can't. They try to take the cake and eat it too. You can't do that. I know they probably ain't heard that though. So some of them boys,
So
yeah.
let's go back to your senior year. I want you to think back to you're going into the state championship game. You guys are undefeated. What? Just explain that feeling after you win that last round, and you're like, all right, because at that point you're still playing in. Was that it, where you ended up playing at WKU? Is that where you played the state championship game? So
Yep.
explain
Exactly.
what that was kind of like. Thinking, hey, we're going to the state championship game.
Mm-hmm.
We're undefeated. Like, what was that feeling like?
Oh man, it was crazy. Especially like, yeah, not just for me, but I feel like for the whole area, for the whole like high school community. That it's first time PRP going to state. So everybody was trying to take in a moment, and I think that really we learned a lot from that. But I mean, I felt like with that being the first time and with with that community and PRP, the high school, that being the first time that's ever happened, like it was like, it was kind of like, you couldn't help, but to take it in like that, because everybody made billboards and stuff like that. But we definitely wanted to soak in a moment because we earned it, we got that far, we worked hard. But we obviously knew like what we was up to and like who we was facing. And, the team that we was facing in the championship. So we definitely knew that we was gonna get the best version of them. They're the best team in the state, obviously. But as far as just the experience, that was definitely once in a lifetime. And being in high school, not everybody's gonna go to state, obviously. Not everybody gets to experience that. So that was definitely crazy once in a lifetime. And just the fashion we did it, that I think that's what I remember the most about that run for sure. So you definitely can't forget that for
So,
sure.
how many offers did you end up having coming out of high school?
Man, it's crazy. My guy only had, well, say 3 offers. Yep, only had 3 offers. I had uh Texas, with Tennessee Martin. That's D2, D2, Division One double L, D2. I
Yeah,
believe it was D2
it's
though, but
yeah,
yeah, maybe even NAI. But that was my first offer actually, and I ended up telling my mom like I was gonna go there. That was my first offer ever. It's like it was like an Alabama offer to me. Like never seen a letter in the mail before. I'm like, wow, it's crazy. But then God started working, and it was a few more offers came in behind that. Colorado State was my next offer, I believe. And that was crazy because like who would have
yeah.
thought, coach from Colorado come all the way down to PRP high school. How do you find that? Like, but Coach Hammersmith, that was his name. I remember like it was yesterday, so it's so significant. He just came to practice field and everything, and he started talking to me. He was talking to me a little bit. But I ended up finishing practice because I was on the side and stuff. I was young, so I was like, damn, I'm just like, I know. But he ended up talking to my coach, and my coach talked to me, and that went from there. Ended up finding out it was an offer. Bobby Petrino was my next offer at WKU. Coach Bobby P. He called my phone. I was in high school. He called my phone one day out of nowhere. I'm getting ready for school. I think, the next day was a Friday night. We had a game at night. He offered me the night before on Thursday. This is Bobby Trino from West Kentucky. Is this Taywan Taylor I'm speaking with? Yeah, just so. I'm just calling you, buddy. I want to tell you that I want to offer you. And I was like,
What was
wow.
that? What was that like? Because growing up in this area, you had to know, like Bobby Petrino before the stuff in Arkansas was a rock star. Like that
Right.
guy did everything, and still as a football player and a football coach, like that
Mhm.
had to be crazy to just be sitting there and then get a call from Bobby Petrino and him saying, "Hey,
Exactly.
I want you to come play for me at WKU."
Exactly. I'm like, man, I'm thinking like, wow, coach, how'd you just find my number? But I couldn't even believe it. So I was like, yes, sir. He asked me if would I like to take a visit, and I told him yes, I would love to take a visit. So I ended up taking a visit to West Kentucky first, and that was my first time in Bowling Green. I never heard of Western, so that's what's crazy too. I ain't even I heard of Louisville, Kentucky, but I never heard of WKU. Went down there, seen Bowling
So
Green.
you had never heard of WKU before you got offered?
I never, bro. It's crazy, like for real. I never heard of Western Kentucky. I promise. Like, and I'm like, what the hell, Western Kentucky? What is that? So I go down here, and then it was nice. I enjoyed it. Nice campus. I'm like, wow, like it's crazy. Being a
So
high
let's
school.
stop that real quick because you
Yeah,
said you
yeah.
took a visit there. Did you take any other visits before you went to Western?
Uh, yes, I did. Glad that you said that, bro. Colorado State was my first
So
offer.
you
I
went
mean, that was
out.
my first visit. I flew to Colorado. It was my first plane ride ever. And then Tennessee Martin was second, and WKU was last. I went
So
Tennessee
what was
Martin.
it like? First off, not only to take your
Mm-hmm.
first flight, because I've flown
Mm-hmm.
into Denver, so I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Where did you fly into? Did it Denver?
Yep. Yep. I think it was Fort Collins or Denver. Yep. One of those, Fort Collins or Denver. I believe it was Denver though. Then we drove to Fort Collins. Yep.
First off,
So
how crazy is it to fly in over all those mountains and stuff? Because I flew on into Denver before, and that flight is cool. I haven't
yeah.
flown from here. I've flown back from the West Coast through there.
Well, it was crazy. Like the view is just. It felt like I don't know, like I was in heaven or something. I'm just looking out the window the whole time. I'm in high school. Like, come on, man. I'm on a plane. My mom's sitting there with her eyes closed, like she's
Nervous.
scared. Something, yeah, like she's on a roller coaster. She like she sleep. But I'm like, come on, man. But flight, I was like, wow. So I mean, I couldn't believe it. Mountains and stuff, like you said, bro. It was crazy. The landing was crazy. And I got off. I mean, just looked just like a college campus is crazy. I'm like, this is the next thing after high school. Like I don't see how I didn't commit there. But that's what I said. Only I know to this day, the only reason I didn't was because of distance. Felt like me going from Louisville to Colorado, that transition was gonna be way more intense than Louisville to Western.
Yeah.
Over to Tennessee.
So you think if let's say now you have the mindset you have now, you would have been at Colorado State?
I think I probably would have. I probably would have if I knew it. I think so. But I feel like,
and it's nothing against Western Kentucky. It's just, I mean, I get where you're coming from. It's tough as an 18-year-old kid who's never, especially one that's never even been on a plane before.
Fact.
And you're flying halfway across the country to, it doesn't matter how beautiful a campus is.
Mm-hmm.
I've never been this far away. I don't know if I'm going to be ready for all this. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying, bro. I'm like, just like, wow. And then I was down there for like 2 days, just me and my mom. And she's staying we're staying in the hotel together, but I get to go out with a few of the other recruits, and we went out, like we went out to a little party and stuff like that. They took us out to eat and stuff like that. But I'm just thinking, like, whole time, like, just just dang, being away like this, like when my mom when you leave, like it's gonna be the last time I'm gonna see. And I don't know how many times I'm coming back home from Colorado. So but I was like, that was something that I had to think about going into, my decision making at that time. Obviously with WKU and stuff like that, and Tennessee Martin. And I was like, but yeah, it was something we definitely sat down and talked about, me and my mom. And that definitely was a decision I made. But I definitely feel like it worked for the best.
So would you say any of those three were necessarily bad visits? Or did you say you had different things? I guess it just gave you a different perspective for different things.
Yeah, no, I loved all of them. And with Tennessee Martin, that was like kind of special too, because like that wasn't that. It's no offense to them, but it wasn't their like stadium and stuff and this campus. Like it wasn't like it was a step above PRP. Like from high school. But I looked at it like when I walked on that campus, like
it was
like,
you.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, it's just me again. Like exactly, it felt like walking on the WKU in the Colorado. I was like, damn, just being there. I'm like, but I was just more so. I was just, thinking like, okay, this is football. Somebody wants me.
Yeah.
So I gotta go to this place, and I gotta treat it like how I was treating it at PRP. This is what I gotta do now here, wherever I'm gonna be at. But especially I soaked that all in too. I didn't stay overnight. I just stayed. I just did that visit and came back.
Where is Tennessee Martin?
That is in Chattanooga.
So yeah, it's not too far, about a 4-hour drive, I guess.
Yep, Chattanooga, Tennessee. Yep. So it wasn't too bad. So yep, did there. I drove there and back with my mom. So
would you say the ultimate reason for you choosing WKU would be the like how close it was to home, just being Bowling Green. You can get home and back and within a day and it not be a big deal.
I actually would say that I chose Western because of Bobby P.
Oh,
And I
okay.
could say that, yeah, I could say that honestly, wholeheartedly, because when he called me, I was like, I knew about him, obviously, and I knew about obviously Louisville. He was at Louisville. I watched
Mhm.
football. I watched
Yeah.
those days with him and Coach Brown. They was there, and like Brian Brown was throwing for 800 yards. Michael Bush, like Mario Urrutia, them boys,
And even one of your
Harry
former, yeah, I
Douglas.
was about to say one of your
Yep.
future teammates, Harry.
Yeah, one of my boys, Harry, HD, and all them boys. So like I remember that too. So like when Bobby P called me, yeah, that was just like that. When he called me at night, I was like, okay, I'm going. Like I kind of knew, but when I still had Colorado State, like I didn't take that visit check. So I was like, nah, I still got Colorado State. But when he called, it was just something that like, okay, I know this
It's
is it right there.
I can't
Like,
imagine being in that position, man, to have someone like you were saying, because and it even sounds like you even felt that way at first too, where it's
yeah,
like, this is
right.
crazy that someone wants me to come play football for them.
Yeah, like I'm thinking like I didn't know what was gonna happen after high school. I'm just thinking like I gotta keep playing all these games, and then I gotta go with my next phase in life, whatever it's gonna be. And then this starts coming, all this stuff, and that's always like, bro. I was like, I gotta be able to embrace all this, take it all in, and be ready. I gotta just be ready, King.
So
Yep. And
let's
I'm
think
glad
of
I.
your first practices there at Western. All right, you
Yep.
get there. What was the biggest, as far as workouts go? What was the biggest difference from you from like going into WKU from high school? Like, was it a huge difference? Was it just a
Mm-hmm.
little bit of difference, or was it just like, oh man, like this is insane?
Oh yeah. Definitely was an insane transition. Definitely difference for sure. Definitely I would say the competition for one. The the intensity, the focus, and yeah, you gotta the detail too, obviously, and the work that you're putting in is detailed now. It's definitely more detailed. Not nothing against high school work, because that's definitely the mechanics. That's the foundation. Those are the building blocks for you to be able to get to where you get to in college. But college is definitely, you got to improve, and every day. That was the biggest thing for me. I was trying to win the day every day. So coming in WKU at the time that I did with those coaches that I had, I think that was a pillar for my career and my game. It was like a turning point. I needed that because those coaches really like set the foundation of like, competition and standard. And I needed that. I needed to be competing every day. I had that mindset of I got to be the best person out here. And
So,
I think I got that when I got to college for sure.
how difficult was it to pick up his playbook when you first started there? Was it a difficult playbook to pick up, or was it
Oh yeah.
was it easier for you because you're a wide receiver and
Mhm.
a lot of it's like, hey, get the like kind of, can you kind of break it down? Because I've never played football. So break
Yeah.
it down, I guess, in as layman terms as you can. Like, what was
Yeah.
it like you seeing this playbook? Like, was it real thick? Was it, I guess at that point it's probably iPads and stuff, or it still
Yeah.
might be
Yeah.
binders.
Yeah. It was binders for sure. It was definitely thick, bro. So, and that's what it was. It was it wasn't even the plays. The plays, everything was conceptual. So you just really have to learn everything in concepts,
Hmm.
because you could be doing the same. You could be doing the same thing on a certain play. It's just a different name. But you just align different. Like you could play the X or the Z on the right or the left. You just got to know both sides, right and left. So it was just the terminology that was just the hardest part, and just remember his verbiage and stuff. Coach P, he was, coach is very, he's very, like I said, detailed in his craft too as well. He's definitely a exceptional coach. You can't take nothing from him in that area. But it's certain languages he likes. He likes things certain way, and that was definitely, like I said, that definitely challenged me coming from high school. We only had so many plays we ran, but then you get to college, you got Bobby Petrino offense,
Yeah.
it's exquisite, versatile, and it's just everything else. So it's not just X's and O's anymore. So, but I think that was the biggest challenge for me, and that definitely helped me. Yeah, helped me and like helped my mental as well.
what would you say? This doesn't even have to include football. What would you say was the
Yeah.
biggest difference for you going from high school to college? It could be
Mm.
football. It could be a football answer.
Yeah. Biggest difference for me, I would definitely say mm, from football. Yeah. Like you talking about it in terms
I
of
mean,
football,
it
correct?
could be like, you being completely in charge of yourself pretty much, because I mean, granted, you do have like teachers and stuff and professors and everything like that, but
Hmm.
there's not someone that's really, your parents aren't
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
So I mean, it could
Yeah.
be as far as schoolwork, it could be,
Yeah.
I mean, anything, the playbook.
Yeah. I definitely say my responsibility for sure because and yeah, in high
Because
school I feel like
you're playing against the best players from every high school now. So
yeah.
now it's like you can't take anything off.
Yeah, facts, and that's what I'm saying. That and the responsibility for me, I felt like in high school, I felt like I could just, I don't want to say get by, but I feel like
Yeah.
that's almost how it kind of was. And not just with the sports, you can just get by with certain stuff. You can win, but like you said, with the class off the field and in the class the hallway, I played basketball, football. So okay, teachers, they was they're more lenient with me and stuff like that. I was aiding. I could be an aide, seeing in the junior year, going in the senior year. Like, come on now, that's not preparing me for college for a test when I got to study and
Yeah.
use note cards and do this, and then you be ready to take an exam and go back home and get ready for uh, another exam on it, Quizlet or whatever.
Yeah.
Everything is all about preparation. My responsibility in preparation is definitely the biggest difference I made going from high school to college because I definitely learned quick, especially with football and coach, like I said, Coach P and my coaches and everything else. And then obviously with school as well. A lot of players too, a lot of players, like I said, struggle early and I feel like that was a result from high school. Like it showed a lot with everybody for
So,
sure.
so your first game of your freshman year, you guys play UK in Nashville, which is kind of
Hmm.
cool because one, it's from this year's. I mean, there's a lot of UK fans in Louisville, but then
Hmm.
not only that, it's kind of a foreshadowing because you're playing in your future home. What? So, not only do you all just show up,
Hmm.
you guys beat them for one. First, I got two questions for this. First, what was it like to beat UK in your freshman year?
Hmm.
Second, explain how it felt to have your season high receptions in that game as well.
Yeah, man, that was crazy too. Um, because I don't even think we mentioned this, bro, but I actually went on a visit to UK when they had um
Was it still was that still Joker Phillips there?
Joker.
Okay.
Exactly right. You're exactly right. They had Joker Phillips and they played Western Kentucky and I was at that visit and they lost that game. And I was like, wow. And Joker Phillips, he was gonna offer me, but he ended up getting fired. And Bob Stoops took my offer. Yep. And I believe he gave it to Ryan Timmons. I don't even know if you know Ryan
I
Timmons.
know the name, but I'm not familiar
Yeah,
fully with what.
yeah, but I
Wait,
still remember
you
that
think
like I was just like a just
Mark
like
Stoops is kicking himself in the tail now, thinking, "You mean I could have had this dude, but instead I."
that's what
Hey,
I
it's
said.
like
Like
you
I
said
still
earlier,
in the
man.
search.
Everything works out for a reason.
Hey, my God, I'm telling you, but it's crazy. I can't believe they lost to West, and I'm at that game. Like I'm on a visit for a UK. I'm like, that felt so good too as well. Like that was crazy too. I actually didn't. I remember that vividly too. I can't forget that. But they lost that game. I was like, wow. But then I so happened to turn around. We playing for the Toppers. We go in like you said. I'm going in the Titan Stadium, not knowing that I'm gonna be drafted. I'm like, come on now. Like I went to WKU in the state championship, not knowing I'm gonna be coming here.
Yeah,
Like I'm like,
that's crazy. I didn't even think about that. Your last game of your senior year, you play where you eventually go. The first game of your freshman year, you play where you eventually get. Yeah,
that's
that's a
what.
movie. That's a movie. That's really what it is. It's a movie.
Come on, bro. Like that's what I'm saying, bro. I'm like, but going into that, Titan Stadium, getting ready for the well, I'm like, wow. And I just know I know I'm just like, and I know who's over there. Ryan Timmons. He's over there with a UK jersey on his back. And I'm just thinking like, wow. I'm just thinking about that. I'm not thinking about the game. I'm like, because I know they offer, but it, it was kind of that was just back. That was at that time. It was just crazy.
You're
And
catching everything, and Stoops is like, "Who is this? Oh no, it's the guy that I didn't offer because I'm an idiot."
it was crazy because I feel like that year too, my freshman WK, we had a lot of Florida boys. We just had that swagger about us, that juice, and I think we was ready to come in, and we was ready that game. My whole team was. I feel like we had that energy, and I feel like
So
we was ready to win. We went out there and bought.
I got a question. So was the year that you visited, or was it a year that you were there? Which one was it when the famous clip happened, where the guy said they supposed to be SEC? Which year was that? Was that the year you were visiting, or was that the year you played?
I think that was the year I was visiting. Yep, that was the year I was visiting. They beat the UK. Told them they supposed to be SEC. Yep, I was on that UK sideline though. I didn't hear that.
Yeah. So
I definitely seen that though when I got to Western. I said, "Wow, I did not even know."
so
Andrew
you
Jackson.
yeah. So you guys end up having a really successful year your freshman year, but you guys didn't end up getting selected for a bowl game. Do you, looking back, do you feel like that you guys kind of got ripped off and you all should have made a bowl game?
Yeah, I feel like we probably should have that year. I know we won. We won enough that year. I think we just lost. I think we had two couple losses that might have hurt us more. And I think there was a couple other teams out there that they felt like they should give the edge to us that year. But I definitely feel like we deserved at least a bowl game. I feel like that coach was really, he wasn't too happy about that. Obviously, I don't know if that, contributed a factor into him going to Louisville the following year, but that's another story. But I think we should got a bowl for sure. I mean,
So,
we definitely feel like and with that Kentucky win, that first game, like
yeah. I mean, you have a Power
that
Five
was
win on the or at neutral site, but still,
yeah, no, should say yeah,
it's still powerful. It's still a Power Five win.
yeah, SEC, yeah,
So I didn't even think about
and that was the year
until you.
after I visited.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, cut you off, B. That was the year after the year I visited, so we beat them 2 years in a row
Yeah. I mean, it's
at their home
crazy.
in the neutral site. Yep.
So I didn't even think about this because I asked about Coach Brom later, but kind of did you have any ill feelings towards Coach Petrino leaving because that's who you came there to play for, or was did you already have a pretty good relationship with Coach Brom and it made it the transition easy or easier? I mean, because I'm sure it's not easy for you to lose a coach that you committed to, but I feel like I guess with Coach Brom that makes that situation a little bit easier. I think you're. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you
There
hear
you go.
me?
Yeah, I think you had the mic covered up. Now, my bad.
Okay. Oh yeah. Yeah. As I said, I definitely had a great relationship with Coach. But it wasn't. I think Coach, like you said, Coach Bond made it easier for me. With Coach Machino leaving, that was obviously tough for all of his recruits that he brought in that year. But we felt good, and we felt like, which obviously happened, that Coach is going to be the next man up, Coach Brown, and it's crazy because he actually, like I said before I committed, he did a home visit with me, just him. He came to my mom's house. Coach Brown did, and he sat down on my couch. Yep, he told my mom, they wanted to offer me, and he actually came to one of my high school basketball games. So that was pretty cool, and I thought I appreciate that a lot. That was special to me. When Coach did that and stuff, it showed me a lot. So that played a factor in my decision too as well.
So
For him
was
to
it
come,
you say
for
that
him to
was
come
was there ever was there ever a thought that you may follow Coach Petrino?
to, when I was unsure what was the coaching change going to be. We didn't know if Coach Brown was. I didn't know what I was going to do, but when Coach Brown did that, yeah, I knew without a doubt I was staying at Western with Coach Brown for sure. I never second guessed that for sure.
So
I know.
what went in between your freshman and sophomore year? Because now you got a new coach.
Right.
Maybe the scheme is probably somewhat still similar. It's not exactly the same, but I'm because Coach Brom coached under Petrino for so long, you figure he had to take some things from it. What kind of stuff did you guys talk about as far as, hey, this is what you need to work on in between your freshman and sophomore year that propelled you to have such a stellar sophomore year?
Yeah. He really wanted me to focus on, just becoming a smart player, just being smart, knowing the game, knowing the situations, knowing where I'm at, knowing how to take hits, stuff like that. So I started to emphasize that going from freshman sophomore year. I felt like freshman year, I felt like didn't do what I wanted. Um, and with me, coming from high school, playing that first year, and me, I guess me realizing that that wasn't my best. I felt like that was good. I felt like I was growing. That was good
Yeah.
for me because I knew I definitely not get better. Some people might hit a wall. Coming from high school, they are 5 stars or whatever you want to call it. And freshman year they do this so, but you gotta, as I'm saying, it's about growth. Every year's a new year. You gotta be better. Every year's have to be better than last. So I think that was my mentality, definitely. And I felt like that my drive at that was at a high point. And it's obviously it's bigger and
I
bigger your
mean, you
drive.
could you could definitely tell that Coach Braun was happy with what you did because not only did you play in all 13 games, but you started 7 of them.
Yeah.
And the first game of your sophomore year, you had 12 receptions for 185 yards.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's a phenomenal game for anybody to have anytime, but you're a sophomore in college.
Mm-hmm.
You have 3 offers, like you mentioned.
Mm-hmm.
What, like, first, I didn't add this on, but first, I want to know after that game, you probably felt like no one could tell you anything. That's kind of the mindset that I feel like I would have. But like, what I guess all that stuff you just kind of talked about there with how to take hits,
Mm-hmm.
being more like, do you feel like all of that work in that first game, you were like, all right, now I know what I got to do and focus on it.
Right.
Like that helped a whole lot going into this year.
For sure, absolutely. Facts. Like I said, I was definitely thinking about that, and leading up to that first game, like everything that I thought about that I did, we did that off season, that summer, all that work I put in, all that stuff coach is telling me, now it's time to, we put it to use, do everything and build on it. Now I had to build on it. And I did it that first game. Like you said, that was my best game ever up to my playing days. So right there. Okay,
Yeah.
now I gotta figure out what I gotta do to keep this going. So that's when I feel like you're able to start, okay, you can really start, breaking yourself down as a player, really seeing, evaluate yourself, really seeing what you can do and how you can build on that, be consistent. And then that's when the consistency part comes in from sophomore to junior year. Now it's about consistency. And then that's where it really takes over.
So you all started the season out 3-5, not the way you guys wanted to start it out, but
Mm-hmm.
you all ended up winning the last 5 games of the season,
Mm-hmm.
including a basketball like score of 67-66 over at I think it was at number 19 Marshall. It might have been at home, but I know they were at least number 19. First,
Yeah.
what went think back, what went wrong to start out 3-5? Second, what did you all change as far as your mindset goes to win the last 5 games? And then third, take us back to what it felt like being the winner of that barn burner against Marshall.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, like to start off like that, it was rough. Obviously, you don't want to start off like that. And we knew going into the next year, we had Coach Brown, we felt like we didn't want to let him down. It's his first year. We felt like we were doing everything for Coach. It's his first year. We're trying to prove him right, that he has the right guys and stuff like that. So it was tough. So we had to figure out a way to, regroup and, reset. And I think that's what we try to do those last games. So and then what was the second part of that B you said
So
going
so
in?
you
Yeah.
what kind of changed mindset wise to go in
Yeah.
and win the last 5 games that you all did that
Yeah.
eventually led you all 4 in a row to get you guys into a bowl game and then the last one
Yeah.
to win the bowl game.
The window, yeah, that's it. Yep. As I was saying, yeah, we just had to find a way to reset, and put those first 3 behind us. First set, it's football. Everybody's not gonna win them all. And you gotta. The most important game is the next game. So that's kind of what the mindset was for sure. And then obviously with that being the last game of the season against the best team in the conference. That was supposed to be the best team in the conference. They're undefeated. Well, what better way to go on the road, rival? Everybody hates you there. I mean, it didn't get no better than that. And that was kind of like reminiscent of, like we talked about the UK game my freshman year. It was that same energy in the locker room with that UK game my freshman, the same energy that sophomore year, my last game. This is Marshall. We come out on the field. You obviously seen the duel we had with them. I know, it was a little. I mean, it wasn't nothing. Just energy. The high energy. Energy is high. before the
I
game,
mean,
and
I
you know
can't
that's
even
kind of what.
imagine having that feeling walking off that field knowing you all just scored 67 points and only won by 1 point.
That's what I'm saying. And then right after that pregame scruffle, we let it all out on the field. And look,
Oh, so wait, so
there you have
there
it.
was a pregame fight?
Well, it wasn't no fight, you know. It's just like, you know, we just met them at, you know, because we was warming up. They was warming up. We was getting close. They getting close. So it was just one of those. It wasn't no, you know, no punches thrown, no blows, nothing. But, you know, just, you know, we was
Pushing and
ear
shoving
to ear.
and
Yeah,
words.
just ear to yeah, ear to ear, nose to nose and shit. But after that, you know, but you know, we got on the field and you know, everybody we put it out there. You know, both teams put it on display, and like you said, that's what you got. You know, 67, 66. You know, we wasn't gonna be denied. They wasn't either. And that, like I said, that game was definitely crazy. That was definitely, like I said, one of those games to remember.
So you all actually, like I said, like I mentioned, you guys made a bowl game. Uh, so what was it like to not only make a bowl game your sophomore year, but to play in the Bahamas? And did they actually give you all a little bit of free time whenever you all went?
Oh yes, sir. We definitely first Bahamas Bowl. My first time getting a passport. I mean, that was crazy too. Like as I said, going to Bahamas, that was like Colorado all over again. As me as a high school student, like that's what I'm saying. I'm like reliving moments. But I mean, it was crazy. We get on the plane, we fly over there. We just on the island. We just fly over all this water, and just this pops up. So that was crazy. But yeah, though we got our passports, and yeah, we went over. We played in the Bahamas Bowl, and that was a great game for us. Like I said, it was one of those. This game I'm not gonna forget. Just playing in the Bahamas, being there, the experience. You know, we see Magic Johnson at the casino. You know, ride jet skis. You know, on the beach. I'm like, no, I don't get no better than this, man. So that's definitely something I gotta go back to.
So you guys were actually sixth in the nation in scoring your sophomore year, 44.4 points per game. What do
Mm-hmm.
you think attributed the most to the success of your all's offense that year?
I would definitely say I would definitely say the guys we had and you know I would say yeah the unselfishness of our team that year. You know, we had a lot of weapons that year, and I don't think I think guys was I think we that was like that was probably our most complete team out of my 4 years at Western, my sophomore year.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that was our most complete team for sure. We yeah, we was definitely unselfish. Like everybody wanted everybody. We wanted the best for all of us, and there was so many of us. You know, we didn't have no choice but to be in it for one another. So I think that was the special part about that team. And we had some leaders that was, you know, some of our seniors that was, you know, they was in the days before Brom and Coach P. They was with the Taggart days. So
Yeah.
those guys on their way out. So they really like brought us together and like, you know, really finished it up. But that team was real complete. I don't know if I would want to say probably our most complete because
I
our
was about to
junior,
say you're the next 2 years, y'all were pretty good,
I know that's what I'm
especially
saying.
your
Like,
senior year. Y'all were
yeah,
or
yeah, I would say that. Yes, I would say my junior year was probably our most complete because we won the conference championship. But that my sophomore year that like kind of built it into that for we set that up for us. But my junior year, that was a cherry on top for sure.
so your junior year up until this point, because
Mhm.
you stay your senior year as well. It was considered the single greatest season in WKU history for a wide receiver. So
Mhm.
I'm gonna read all your stats. So just to pump your head up a little bit. So you set the single season record for receiving yards with 1,467.
Mhm.
Uh, you had most receptions in a season with 86, and you had the most touchdown receptions with 17. And you
Mhm.
were just the second receiver in school history with at least 1,000 receiving yards. Period.
Mhm.
Explain the feeling of knowing that when someone speaks of Western Kentucky football, your name is always going to be synonymous with the great receivers. If I mean, I would say you would have to be considered the greatest wide receiver to come out of Western Kentucky. Like, I don't really
Mhm.
think that's even a question. Explain that feeling of coming from where you came from, where your first plane ride was, your senior year of high school, you had 3 offers, and now you're 3 years in at a college that's right down the road from where you grew up.
Mhm.
And at this point, you're already probably considered the greatest receiver to ever play there.
hmm It's crazy. It's crazy. Be like you said, like I didn't even I didn't even know some of those stats were stats. Like,
Yeah.
come on now, like it's. I mean, it's just a testament to like I talked about, like from that moment I walked on that campus at freshman, when I knew like it's when I seen what I was going to take, and the drive it's going to have to be about a certain drive. You got to have a certain, and it's going to have to just, like I said, it's going to have to be bigger and bigger every year. The flame's going to have to grow. So I was just, I mean, it's just crazy just to think about that. And when I look back on it, that's what I'm saying. It's like bittersweet, because you just, when it's there, when it was that moment, I feel like when I was in that time, it's like I was just thinking like, okay, dang, I got to do this because I'm so worried about the next moment. But you don't really get to, cherish that at that time. And that was special though, and that's crazy because I don't even realize it like it. I still feel like I didn't do enough there, which is crazy. But it's definitely special, and yes, I said that's always gonna be a part of me for sure.
So,
WK.
like you mentioned, not only did you have a great individual season, but you had great team success as well. Your
Mm-hmm.
only two losses were to Indiana in a 38-35 game, and to LSU 48 to 20.
Mm-hmm.
First, when did you know that you all were going to be a great team?
Yep.
Second, which game do you feel like was the best game you all played in? And it could have even been in a loss. It could have even been in that IU game.
Right.
Uh, but which game do you feel like was the best game that you guys played that entire season?
That's exactly what you said. The IU game, I feel like that's when we knew, this is it. We got everything we need. I think that game, because we lost that game, and I feel like we went in the locker room, and especially me, I feel like, you know, that's what coach is saying. Because I remember going from my sophomore year to my junior year, I remember coach pulling me into the office and vividly saying to me, I'm ready to give you the keys to this offense, basically, as a junior. So now I gotta basically grow up quick as a player, football
Yeah.
player. Jeff Brom sitting there telling me this. So like, oh yeah, serious now. So I mean, I already knew what it took. You know, obviously you gotta work hard every day. But I definitely felt like, that definitely was a turning point for us. That IU lost, and after that, I felt like we hit a stride, and it showed.
So what would you say like when he says, "Hey, pulls you into the
Yeah.
locker room," and he was like, "Hey,
hmm
I want to give you the keys to this offense."
Yeah.
I feel like immediately you have to change your mindset into, you think of the Kobe, the Mamba mode. You have to
Yeah.
go into like a killer mode to where you think it doesn't matter who we're playing, I'm the best player on the field, and I have to play that way. Is it kind of like what you felt like you had to do at that point whenever he said that, and that's why you feel like your season like that was like the biggest attributing factor to that season being so good?
Absolutely, for sure. As I said, like that's crazy because I'm thinking like, I'm a junior, so coach, I mean, coach wouldn't just be saying this to a junior. I mean, he
Yeah.
has a Brandon Dowdy quarterback who's a senior. He got some other senior receivers, like, but he's telling a junior receiver from Louisville, me, that he wants to do that, and that's his plan. And that I just got to be ready. So that that definitely, like I said, helped me grow up. Like, okay, now you need to know, like, it's about consistency every day. Even your best games, because that Indiana game we talk about, I feel like that was a good game, but that's not good enough.
Yeah.
You can't just think everything's. You can't never think it's good enough, even when you might seem like it, or somebody tells you. That's what people fall victim, and that work ethic and everything they do. You get that little bit just of credit, and you try to take it, but that was one of those things. That's what I said, Coach. He basically told me, and I try to, I try to, I try to implement that into everything, workouts, all everything. Like I was doing with the team, with my boys, with the team outside. We had our little pro day. We did a little pro day thing. Like it was, I want to say, it was like it was a certain period during the season that we did like a little pro day testing
Hmm.
where we just had everybody do jumps and 40s and cone drills. Our strength coach did, and he brought us in at different times of the day, and he's posting all of our numbers. I'm thinking like, okay, I'm about to be number one in everyone, so I'm just looking at everybody's
Yeah.
numbers. People's not knowing that I'm going to the board, and then I go out and I remember like it was yesterday. I go out and do 11-foot broad jump. Coach, he brings the whole team together. My strength coach, and he's like, okay, I'm just gonna let it be known right now. We got a effing freak in here. We got a freak. I'm like, oh, what you talking about, coach? I just jumped. I just did my broad. But I mean, they just said they felt like that's what I needed. They just had to put certain things on the spot, and I feel like all this stuff, contributed to where I am now, and I just gotta keep that same drive, and just keep that same.
So going into your senior year, did you ever, after having that year, did you ever think about leaving and going to the NFL after that, or was it like what made your decision? If yes, like what made your decision to come back?
Yeah, it was definitely some talk. So, and I started getting, agents, started to come about and stuff like that. And, it was definitely the teams that was coming in the facility. So, that was definitely, that was intriguing. That's like eye candy for anybody in college. So, but, I just knew me as a player, my heart, you gotta go with what your heart tells you. And my heart told me, you gotta come back. This ain't enough. I need more. And I needed more coming from junior year, especially when you doing some certain things that you revealing from your game. Now you got to see more. You got to find what else you can do. So what else is there? So that's kind of what my mindset started to gravitate towards as I got closer to that next year, getting closer to college, getting closer to spring. I said, okay, I'm ready to go back to school. Yeah, so didn't want to put my name in.
So your senior year, we just spoke about how great of a junior year you had. Your senior year was even better. I feel like sometimes guys will come back and it ends up being a wrong decision. I don't think it was a wrong decision on your part. Your senior year, you followed up with an even better individual performance by breaking your own records of single season receptions, single season receptions, and reception yards, and the team went 11-3. I know your all's record wasn't better your junior year, but you've kind of already answered it. Which year do you think you all were better, your junior or your senior year?
Dang, he threw that question on me. That is going to be.
Because I mean, I know you all went 12-2.
Yeah, that's crazy.
But
you know what? Yeah, I'm gonna
I
have to
can't.
say.
I'm trying to remember. You all beat somebody pretty good your senior year.
Yeah. Who do we beat? I know we played Alabama my senior year.
Yeah, and you all actually, I know you all lost.
We played Purdue my senior year. We freaking lost. I mean, it was Vanderbilt. My fault. B. It was Vanderbilt, not Purdue. We lost about 1 point at home.
Let's see, 2016. I'll pull it up because I remember seeing it. I was like, I know they had a better record the year before, but they might have.
Yeah, but you know what, B? Yeah, you can go and pull those stats up, but you know what? I'm gonna have to go with junior year because solely off the fact that we had my boy Tyler Higbee. I mean, he just made us he was the X factor for that junior year team for sure.
Yeah, you all lost to Vanderbilt by 1 in overtime. You all lost to Louisiana Tech by 3. You all beat Middle Tennessee in 2 overtimes.
Yeah.
And you all blew out Marshall at Marshall 60-6.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, I'm gonna have to go with junior year. I feel like we was a little bit more complete junior year. I feel like.
Yeah, because that year you all actually won at Vanderbilt.
Yep. And on the defensive side of the ball as well, junior year. You said we actually won what?
You all won at Vanderbilt your junior year. You also, yeah. So I would have to agree with you. Yeah, you played Vanderbilt back years.
Dang, I didn't. Okay, I forgot about that. You did. Yep. Now I gotta say junior year. Yep. Off the facts. I didn't know we beat them on the road. Yep.
Beat them at Vanderbilt 14-12.
Yep.
Yeah. Higbee had 102 receiving yards.
Yeah.
Jesus. Yeah, you said you could have done more against Indiana. You had 196 receiving yards. I'm not really sure what else you could have done as far as doing more to help beat Indiana. I mean, 196 receiving yards it's not a bad game.
I know, bitch. So I'm saying and I still didn't realize what happened, what I did, but I was just like, damn, I got to do more for us to win. I mean, excuse my language. I was like, I just got to do more Like I was just like, I mean, we just lost. Like you ain't supposed to lose, so that's the name of the game. So
So even if it was your senior year, I want you to think about going into your bowl game. Were you upset that Coach Brom, left before your all's bowl game?
uh nope, I wasn't upset. Uh I ain't trying to sound bad to my players, but that was my last year, so in
So
my
let's.
last game.
So you think if that would have been your junior year, you
If
would
that
have
was
been a
my
little
junior
down?
year, it would have been way more different. Yes, absolutely, for sure. Yeah, because I definitely understood why some of our young boys, young guys was they wasn't too happy about that. But coach, it's life. Eric. You can't coach he had to do what he has to do, to provide for his family, and that's the best situation, and he obviously deserved that, after doing everything he did for 3 years straight. You obviously everybody and seeing that coming, and everybody would be expecting that, But definitely happy for him. But we felt good going to the bowl game because, you know, that's what I said. We felt like we had already hit our stride at that point,
Mhm.
and after that last game, after our conference championship, we got our bowl game selection, and we was feeling good, and we just wanted to finish off with a bang. So I feel like we would have, I feel like we would have won that game. No offense to Memphis, we played them that year, my senior year in the bowl game, but I feel like we would have won if I was coaching. Just because we was just feeling so good and we was riding. I mean, we just won out, and that's what I said before the game. Before that, we beat La Tech, and that was for the conference championship, and that's a rival. So that was really our biggest game of the year right there. So that was our championship, but the bowl game was obviously cherry on top. So that
So
was the icing.
after the season, you were invited to the Senior Bowl, and I saw some names on there that were. It seems like maybe I need to start paying attention to the Senior Bowl a little bit more because if you have guys
Mm-hmm.
like Cooper Cup, OJ Howard, Nate Peterman, and Kareem Hunt, just to name a few in your Senior Bowl, sounds like something I need to
Mm-hmm.
start watching. First, though, what did it feel like? Full circle now. You're coming from three. We've been mentioning a lot. Your three offers to now you're getting
Mm-hmm.
invited to the Senior Bowl. And second, was the talent that apparent when you were there at Senior Bowl practice? Like, did it
Oh
feel
yeah,
like
absolutely.
you were around like Pro Bowl type talent when you were there?
Oh yeah, no doubt, no doubt. Definitely, you definitely seen the talent. You felt it, and you knew. So that was definitely a once in a lifetime experience as well. Being there with all those great players, future Hall of Famers for sure. Some's gonna be there. Some definitely a lot was there. Um, I mean, you don't get no better than that. Being around all the coaches and just being able to talk to them and communicate with them, and as I said, all that stuff was just it was just a big orientation, a big interview for us, and we that helped us prepare. That was definitely a part of our preparation, and like I said, that was definitely help. That would definitely help some of us, be ready for certain things like being able to talk to coaches and interact with certain people.
Mhm.
And I definitely gotta be thankful for that opportunity.
So what was the next? Because you were invited to the combine as well. What was that like? Was it as stressful as people make it out to be?
Oh yeah, that was stressful. That was definitely stressful. It's crazy because didn't none of us see that coming. I don't feel like talking to some of the boys that at the combine at the time. We got up at 4. We had to get up I believe at 4 or 5 a.m. I think to do a drug test. And it was crazy. We wasn't able to go back to sleep after that because we had to get ready for our testing. So this is this is an interview as well. We and it's on everybody's mind. But everybody's thinking about one thing, the 40-yard dash,
Yeah.
and that was crazy because that year, John Ross he breaks the record. So he gets up there, runs a 4.42 and smokes it, and he has everybody else. He has all us like, I mean, come on now, are you
Yeah.
serious?
Like, why didn't you
And
run last?
yeah, I mean, like seriously, everybody's down in the dumps, and I'm like, but you know what? I think everybody did what they could, and as I said, I try not to get you down because as you look around, you can see like what it could do, like. But that's part of the game. That's part of the interview. They're looking at that. They're watching everything. Who can hold it together. But I had to hold it together. I mean, and I felt like I finished strong. I ended up having the best 3-cone drill out of all the receivers. I had it for the receivers. Christian McCaffrey had it for the running backs. We both had 6, 5, 7. That was our three-cone drill. So, I mean, I wanted to finish on. I was like, I wasn't. I mean, I ran a good 40, but obviously, now I want to be like 4.3, but
So do you feel like you could have done better?
it
Was
is
there
what it is.
something that was bothering you, like going into that, like maybe a nagging
Oh
injury or
yeah,
something?
I definitely feel like I was a little bit on the heavier side. I was about 202, 203, usually like 195. I feel like I was heavy. I don't know. I was telling myself when I was coming out, when I look back, I was trying to be too heavy for some reason. Like I wanted my weight to. I just felt like me having more weight was gonna, be better, look better on me, or sound better to the scouts, whoever it may be.
Mhm.
But I felt like kind of might have slowed me up a little bit. But I would say that, and I would say just overthinking. That's what a lot of guys would say. Just about the 40, the technique. You just run. It's just you just run. You just do what you do, man. Like it's nothing to it. You don't
So
gotta.
there's two parts that I really want to know about because you always hear about certain parts of the combine. You hear about the
Mhm.
40-yard time, you hear about the bench press and all that stuff. I
Yeah.
want to hear about the meeting. Was the
Mhm.
meeting as weird as what everybody always says? And like, were you asked any weird questions?
Yeah. You definitely like you gotta you that there. It's almost like some of them studied in psychology, like those some of the questions that they come at you with, and it's like, dang, you really want to see if I can think, like
Yeah.
you got they're really trying to see that. I'm like, wow, like it's hard for me to even try to, you know, it was hard for me to try to resonate some of those questions, but it's hard for me now trying to think and backtrack on some of them they was asking because he was right. But I mean, the meetings was definitely, yeah, you definitely had to focus in those meetings. When it's definitely when it came to time to get on the board, you know, uh, coach, he'll describe he'll have some on the board. He'll describe he'll describe something to you about a play breaking down, and then you have to break it back down to him. You know, and he'll go through it, or he'll go through the play. He'll go through a play on the board, like on film. We're watching film. Then he'll turn the film off, turn on the whiteboard. Okay, can you draw what the play I drew, like the play we was watching? Can you draw, the play in X's and O's? Can you draw it out? How do you learn? Are you a hands-on learner? Are you a visual? Stuff like that. So it was kind of, it was pretty intense for sure. So it definitely had you, it had you focused in there. They definitely wanted to see. They
So
definitely wanted to see if you
they,
could.
they they also talk about the Wonderlic test. Was the Wonderlic test hard or was it like it? I don't know. Like, was there weird questions on
Yeah,
that too? And you were like,
yeah,
I don't really know how to answer this.
yeah, for sure. The Wonderlic, and we did like some we did like some memory, some type of memory test. Um, before the Wonderlic, I remember doing some type of memory test before that, but I think that was part of it. But I mean, it was crazy. Like, yeah, some of the questions I guess they just wanted to channel, like, to see if you could be able to remember, like, or how much memory you could store. They guess I wanted to see your memory storage. Like, I guess they was testing that because they were asking some questions, and then like as you proceed in the test, they would backtrack on like a question they asked you before. They would ask you again. They would ask the same question in a different manner, and it was definitely different. So I was like, something that something that definitely a job like that, like the NFL requires, and I see
Yeah.
why they do that. So
So after the combine was over, did you kind of have a sense of where you were going to be drafted already? Like, was there a team that said, "Hey, we're going to take you at this certain point"? Uh, and was there a team that said, "Hey, we're going to take you at this point," and then didn't?
uh honestly, I didn't really have like a good feel. I was like, I didn't really know. I felt like the teams that I was talking to was definitely interested. I felt like I had some good interest, but I really didn't know if I knew like there was a favorite. if I could really pinpoint that. But my conversations I had when I met with all my coaches on my teams, they was good. And my interviews were good. Like I said, I was focused. I was able to, do what they told me and stuff like that. And everything was good in that aspect. But I never really could like, really decide like I feel like they like me the best or this and that.
Was there a team that you wanted to get drafted to?
Um, I actually did want to go to the Rams, to LA Rams. But my thought was that I wasn't going to get drafted by the Titans because being from Louisville, they were so close. I just canceled them out completely. So that's what I said. It's still crazy like to this day. But I told myself anybody's going to draft me but Tennessee. There's no way I'll go there. And I told my mom that and everything, and my agent. They couldn't really say that. It was like, anybody could get you, but who knows? I was telling them, yeah, anybody, but Tennessee not. They were like, yeah, probably you're right.
So you felt like Tennessee was just going to be too good to be true for you? Like you felt like it was like, there's no way that somebody so close would do this, and like it would just be, I mean, it would be crazy because I mean, there or Indy, really.
Yeah, or Indy. That's right. Yeah, that too. But as I said, yeah. But I was just like, because in Nashville, I went to Bowling. I went to WKU's in Bowling Green, so that was close. I was like, yeah, it's no way. But yeah, I really didn't think about Indy at the time. But yeah, I was just like, I knew Titan. I knew I wasn't gonna be a Titan. But yeah, I felt like LA was gonna come because yeah, their GM and coach McVay actually came up to WKU and stuff, and they showed a lot of interest as far as that. So I was I was like, okay, they got some interest, they really like me.
So going into the draft, did you have a draft party? And if you did, where was it? Like, was it in Louisville? Or was it at WKU or?
Yep, I did. I had a good in Louisville. I was actually thinking about having it at WKU in the John Harbaugh Club, actually up on campus. But I ended up having it at home, and I had it at this. It was a nice lounge downtown, and I had my family there, my friends, and we ended up watching the draft party, and I ended up wearing Titan blue that day. It was crazy because I was like, wow, I wore polo, Titan blue polo. It was like silk, but I just didn't think I was getting drafted. But we had it the second day, not the first day when we had it day two. I didn't go on day one, I went on day two. Because so I kind of was expecting, my agent was telling me that's what they was hearing. So I went on here, had my party that day, hoping that would happen, and unfortunately it did. And it was crazy. They announced it, and I remember that too. Like it was yesterday. It was Jarrell Casey, my teammate for the Titans. He announced my name, and it was crazy. Everybody went crazy, and I couldn't believe it. Kind of hit me late. It didn't hit me at the moment, but I was just like, dang. But definitely was a relief, and definitely like one of the best moments in my life for sure.
So I guess when you got that phone call, like I guess you think of it now, like what was it like when you got that phone call? Like first off, who called you? What did they say when they called you whenever they were going to draft you?
It was John Robinson, the GM for Tennessee. Yeah, he called me, and he basically said, he said my name Taywan. He said, "Just Taywan." I said, "Yes, sir." He said, "It's John Robinson." And he said, "What's up, Hilltopper?" And I was like, "What's up, boss?" And I just started laughing. He said, "Yeah." He said, "You a Hilltopper?" He was like, well, he was like, "You a Titan now? You ready to be a Titan?" He told me I was a Titan now, and I'm like, "What?" And I couldn't believe it. And I'm like, "Oh my gosh!" But yep, and that was it right there. Was all she wrote. I said, "Yes, sir, absolutely." And he was like, "I can't wait to have you." So, and it just changed my life. And I just actually looked at my shirt like,
Man,
like the hell? What? This is the color.
It's
I don't know. Did y'all know I wore this or something? I mean, like, but I mean, I couldn't believe it, and that was it right there. It was a call. He congratulated me, and he put me on the phone with my coach at the time, Mike Malarkey, was my head coach, and then talked to Coach Malarkey, and that was about it, and we made it happen.
So you going to mini campus is kind of like the question I asked from high school to college. Like, do you remember, like, what was the difficulty? I guess ranging from college to NFL, like, because now you're really, really playing the best of the best because these are pro guys. Like, what were the difficult? How difficult were the practices compared in comparison from the NFL to college?
Oh yeah, that was definitely way more it was way more structured. Um but I would say the practicing was structured too, but our practices, we're definitely on schedule. It's always on schedule. We're gonna and like everything I'm saying the tempo was just insane. It was definitely extreme.
Yeah.
From college to NFL was way more extreme than NFL to high school to college. But I knew that was gonna be evident. But like I said, it just required a greater level of deep attention, a greater level of focus, and that's what I try to do. Like my rookie year, I definitely spent a lot of time just trying to definitely stay in my playbook, obviously. But I was just looking up like little highlights and stuff. I started really getting into watching players and stuff, watching highlights, watching film and stuff of NFL games and stuff. Certain players that
Who was somebody you tried to
idolized.
emulate whenever you were watching those films? Like, who was somebody that you watched a lot that you were like, yeah, this is kind of what I need to do.
Yeah, I was big into the routes. So I was definitely watching guys like Amari Cooper, Odell, AB, and stuff like that. Guys and running routes and stuff like that. Because I feel like that's what I wanted to perfect and what I still want to perfect. And I feel like that's gonna be one of my, I want that to be, one of my, you know, calling cards in my game. I should say, when I, just knowing that I can run any route, knowing how to get open, things like that. And I feel like that's a key. That's one of the key parts of being a receiver. You definitely know how to get open and run routes. And
So thinking back to your rookie season, and you get your schedule, you look at it. What which was there a game on your schedule that you were like, "Hey, I'm really excited to play this game," or was it just like, "I'm just ready to get started in general. I'm just ready for the season to start."
oh, rookie year. Mm, uh, yeah, I think I would say that. I think I would say that I was just ready. Like that's what I'm saying. Coming from where I came and what I've been through, um, I think I was definitely ready to get that NFL thing running and going, and yeah, get my feet in the ground out there on the field because I knew that this is what this is what I've been waiting for, and that's what I'm saying. It's all a dream until you get there. Now it's your job. So now it's about maintaining. So that's really what it's been about. And trying to stay healthy. And that rookie year, so I said like that was definitely special because, like I said, definitely was able to get my foot in the door and get around it. And now once you're around it, you realize that you're an NFL player. You just like everybody else. You one of them. So shouldn't nothing be too big or too small for you. You shouldn't feel that way at least.
So I have a somewhat of like a trivia question for you. Do
Hmm.
you remember who your first career regular season game was against? And do you remember how you did in that game?
My first career regular season game was against the Oakland Raiders,
Hmm.
and I don't remember how I did.
I believe you had 2 receptions for 14
But I do
yards.
2 for 4. Okay, 2 for 14. Okay. Yep. Yeah, I gotta do better than that. But yep. That was my first game. I remember that day. Yeah, I obviously remember because I didn't do too much, but I definitely remember that running out that tunnel. Yep. And we wore white jerseys, I believe. Yeah, it's crazy. I believe we won. No, we didn't. We didn't win that game. Yeah, we lost. We lost my first
So,
game.
So you all ended the regular season at 9-7, and you made the playoffs. So you make the playoffs your I about to say your freshman year, rookie year. Your first round matchup was against the Kansas City Chiefs,
Mm-hmm.
and what did you guys do to squeak out that 1-point win on the road in Arrowhead? Like that's got to be a now it's an even more crazy place to play. But at that point, it was kind of like when they were starting to go up because you had some of those players, but Mahomes wasn't playing yet.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, that was crazy. That was definitely a big game, especially with it being a playoff game as well. And you know, with that franchise in Tennessee and stuff, that was definitely a great time. You know, at that time, making the playoffs. I haven't been there in a while. So I feel like we had a great team too. Like we had some good momentum and going into the playoffs. You know, we just came off a big win to get into that game. So that was crazy, and I feel like we went into that game, like I said, with some good momentum, and we try to keep that going, and that was on the road. We knew it was gonna be a road game, and I felt like we came in there and we try to go pound for pound. We knew KC was a good team that year. Definitely knew they had Mahomes as a backup, but Alex Smith was playing phenomenal. So
Yeah,
we knew we was gonna have to put our best foot forward, and we was able to get out of there with a victory for sure.
so your next opponent was the eventual Super Bowl runner up, the New England Patriots and Tom Brady.
Yeah.
First, what was it like to face those guys in the playoffs? And second, what was it like to play in Foxborough in the playoffs? Like, was it freezing cold? Because I mean, I feel like being up there at that time of the year would just be freezing cold.
Yeah. It was icy. And yes, I said it was crazy. I mean, first time seeing Tom Brady live on the same field with him, he's running out. You know, you just looking at him. He's just like you just know he's the GOAT. Just running out last by himself. You got the music playing, stadium's going crazy. But yeah, it was definitely a crazy experience. You know, unfortunately, we didn't get the win, but I think we learned a lot from that game. You know, you just gotta know, every game, you gotta make everything count. You know, we kind of had some plays that hurt us in that game, special teams, stuff like that, penalties. But you know, like I said, you can't make too many mistakes against Tom Brady, obviously. But that game was definitely a great game to remember, and that was special too.
So going into your second year, like what was it you were was it this was I guess kind of what you were speaking on. You were watching more film on what routes I needed to get better on and stuff like that. Was that the main things that you kind of focused on to say, hey, this was kind of my get my feet wet season. Now this is where, I step it up and I show what I can really do.
Hmm. Yep, for sure. Yes, so I said, and I actually talked to my receivers coach that following year. I mean, after my freshman year, and you know, he was basically just sat down. And he was basically going through with me on everything he's seen from me through the whole year. Strengths and weaknesses, and we just basically made a goal list of what my goals was for off season,
Mm-hmm.
and I think that that really that really helped me, and that really motivated me to set some goals, have something to that I want to reach, and I think it should be like that every year. As long as we all play, you got to have goals. You can't just go into season blind. That's not realistic. You wanna have individual goals, team goals as well. Um, because what are you playing for? If you don't, but I think that was big, and I felt like I definitely wanted to. Yeah, I definitely wanted to definitely improve, and I feel like I wanted to do it, for myself. And that's one of those things, like I said, especially in this business, you gotta. That's one of the things you gotta do. You can't lie to yourself. You know what you're doing. When nobody's looking. So that's what it's really about, and that's what I wanted to emphasize. Going into my second year, just putting in that work. Outside, really going to train. I had to go travel a little bit to go train in some different places and really try to take initiative in that manner for sure.
So in your second year, you guys go to Dallas in week 9 and you
Mhm.
won't get the win, but you actually were injured.
Mhm.
And it required you to miss the next 3 games. Take us through the play and like tell us what happened to your foot. Like what Did you have like a sprain or something? Or like what ended up happening?
Yeah, yeah, that was my rookie year at Dallas. I believe it was a form of turf toe, and yeah, that kind of set me back a little bit. Yeah, it was weird. It was like the first time I ever missed some real action. I got a real like injury, quote
Hmm.
unquote. But yeah, it was just turf toe. It was like where I couldn't really um use my I really couldn't plant on my foot. I really couldn't plant on my toe. Or
Like I
yeah,
always
so
think it's funny how people try to um like downplay like how tough that stuff is. Like they think that guys like that are just missing time on purpose when really they don't understand how
yeah,
difficult it is to come back from that
yeah,
injury and how bad that actually hurts.
yeah. That's not a joke. Yeah, because you can't. That's like when you gotta push your foot down. It's like when you
Yeah.
trying to push your foot back. So I couldn't. You can't push your foot back, or you can't plant on it like trying to step on a rock or something. I mean, like
Yeah.
yeah, trying to crush something. You can't do it with turf toe. So and you need to be able to do that. To, run routes, stop and go, and do that kind of stuff.
So I
So
mean,
yeah, but yeah,
is turf
kind
toe
of
kind
yeah,
of
put
like
me up about 3 weeks, 3 to 4 weeks. Yeah, it was there's certain degrees of it too. I feel like mine wasn't too severe, so I think
so
it was like
is
3 4 weeks.
is
I
turf
was
toe kind of like shin splints? Like the only way to get rid of it is just rest and staying off of it, pretty much.
right. Yep. Yep. And try to exercise it too, work it out. Yep, but it's same thing, same type of process. Yep, exactly.
So in your second season, you guys had the same record, but you ended up missing the playoffs, and you ended up with 37 receptions for 466 yards and a touchdown.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, it wasn't fully the season that you wanted because of the injury, but did you feel like you were moving in the right direction with the Titans there, and like you felt like it was going to be, going to be your home for a while?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. That's what I said. I just try to keep taking it day by day, every day. That's what you gotta do in this business. But you can't just take it day by day. You gotta get better each day. But yeah, I definitely felt like I was, wanted to keep building. I felt like I was building, especially coming off injury. I want to get back on the right track, and I definitely felt like I was trending that way. So definitely try to keep that mindset, and I definitely that's what I'm trying to do. Like to this moment now, still trying to keep that mindset of you got to keep trending and keeping a positive mindset on everything, not and outlook and that's the key. So can't nobody stop your mentality or your drive. So that's definitely something that you can control at all times. So that's definitely how I'm thinking, just a forward thinking mentality for sure.
So I've never really gotten to talk to somebody about something like this, and so on August 31st, 2019, it was announced that you were being traded from the Titans to the Browns.
Mhm.
Like, first, how did you hear that you were being traded? And second, like, what were your feelings? Because you had already mentioned, like, you didn't think you were going to get drafted by the Titans anyway because it was too good to be true. Like, ex- first off, I want to ask
Mhm.
that first part. Like, well, how did you hear you were traded?
Yeah, they we was going well they we had practice that day, so the my our assistant GM he ended up pulling me to the side before practice that day, and he ended up taking me to the GM's office, and I ended up sitting down with my GM, and he ended up telling me the news. He basically told me it's tough because he drafted me and stuff, and he knew my story and stuff like that, and he said it was hard for him because we had just signed a receiver, Adam Humphries. It was rough. Like seeing from me and my boy Corey Davis, we had got drafted the same year, but they brought another receiver. So, but I was like, it was kind of like, oh wow, because kind of didn't expect it, curveball. But then again, same time, you're like, okay, reality. So you like, okay, this is reality, this is business at the same time. But he told me the news. He was like, you know, and he's like the Browns actually called, and they've been calling for a while. He said they've been showing interest, and they just wanted to wait for the right trade and the right move. And my GM basically told me he felt like he needed to do this because he wanted to see me. He wanted to see me really get a chance to play and be able to really get out there and be out there and that's what it was. So he told me that news, and that's what it was. And I told him thank you for the opportunity, drafted me. It was once in a lifetime, and that's kind of where we went from there.
So when you got there, I mean, your first year you only played in 3 games, and
Hmm.
during those 3 games you were only targeted one time. Like, was there any reason given on why you weren't really being utilized like you were in Tennessee? Because I mean, you said that the GM told you that they had been contacting for a while,
Yeah.
interested in you. So like,
Hmm.
what was when you got there? Did you have that feeling? Like, did it feel like they were actually? Because it doesn't seem like they were trying to utilize you to. Because I feel like you
Yeah,
with
absolutely.
the
Yeah.
other 2 guys there, I mean, that is a that's a crazy trio of receivers that you could have on the field at the same time.
Absolutely. That's it. Yeah, I absolutely thought, that was my mindset. I'm going here to play. I didn't want to go think I'm going here to just to sit around. Like nobody wants to do that, but I gotta stay ready, and that's gotta be the mindset. And then, it's my job. Every player has to be ready when they numbers call. But that's definitely my mentality. Obviously things didn't go, the way I expected it to, but or as far as for that season, for that first year in Cleveland. But like I said, I just try to stay positive. Always stay in my playbook. Just know what I'm supposed to do, know what I have to do, and know my assignment. And like I said, just make sure I'm healthy. Like I said, just be available. And it's our job as players. So we here for.
So your second year, they actually end up waiving you, but then they picked you up the next day and put you on practice squad. Like, exactly does the practice squad fully entail? Like, I mean, I guess they can call you up at any time because they ended up calling you back up a month later. But like, what
Mhm.
all? So you're basically learning the other team's playbooks and you're running those routes to
Mhm.
kind of help the defenses that are playing.
Yeah, basically, yeah, practice squad, basically, yep, scout, giving them looks, giving realistic looks for the other team. Yeah, we just basically doing their plays, but you at the same time, you're learning within the offense and defense. You're watching the man ahead of you and stuff. But practice squad, yeah, they're on contract, you know, for 18 weeks, practice squad, and unless like I said, there's a roster move, like you just said, like you just mentioned. Let's say activate you, move you up. But other than that, yeah, practice squad is that's what it is.
So when explain that feeling a month later when you got that call, because it was like, I'm sure any person in your position that drafted and stuff and thought you were going to play, when you get waived and put on practice squad, I'm sure you weren't really that happy. But then a month later they call you back and they're like, hey, we want to
Mhm.
put you back on the active roster. Was it kind of like being drafted again, almost like, hey, they're giving me a shot, they're believing in me again? Or was it still like, or did it kind of put a
Right,
chip on your shoulder like, hey, you know what, I'm gonna make sure I stay here?
right. What's you just hit it right on. That's actually, well, I actually feel like it's really been a chip ever since the trade, but there's a chip, when you get drafted, because like I said, you're always trying to prove yourself. But like I said, that's been my mentality since high school. Like I said, like I mentioned, when I came off that summer year, just
Hmm.
trying to prove myself. And like I said, when I got to college, trying to prove myself. Now in the NFL, trying to prove yourself. But yeah, like I said, when I got put on practice squad, I didn't get down. Like I wasn't, I wasn't down on myself. I was like, ain't nobody gonna be feel sorry for me. Ain't nobody gonna get me out practice squad but me.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, I'm gonna have to do it, and that's what I did. At practices, my coaches, my GMs, I feel like they seen it. They seen the practice, they seen that, and they just didn't activate me for no reason. So but like I said, so I said like now we're here. So it is everything has been what it's been so far. We obviously had a great year this year. We got a lot to build on. And so I said I'm ready to see, what's in store.
So speaking on the practice squad, I mean, I feel like you telling me what that's almost got to be more difficult as far as practice and going for a person
Um
that's on the roster, because you have to not only know
mm,
your own team's playbook, but you have to know another team's playbook and give them looks from the other team's playbook. I feel like that's got to be really difficult on top of the stress of I got to make sure I'm working hard enough to get back to where I want to be.
exactly, bro. That is yeah, practice squad definitely. It's like you got two jobs. You're not just active roster, you active in practice. So you're trying to, so see, like you just hit the nail on the coffin. Like, you gotta do the practice squad looks 100% realistic. You gotta win those looks, and then you gotta come over
Yeah.
to your team, and you gotta go in for the next man, and you gotta be able to do that same R plays 100% and win against practice squad. So yeah, like, and at the same time, you're making less money than the active guys, and you're trying to earn your spot. So, you're doing the same type of work, the same rate, and it's all the same. But that's just the reality of the practice squad.
So I got another question I didn't put on here, but you could think about it. I'll give you a little bit to think about it because it's going to be a question you're probably going to have to think. Do you got any good OBJ stories? Because that dude is like the king of everything when it comes to story, like people telling stories about him. And
Oh
it
yeah,
doesn't have to be anything incriminating. I just want to hear something
yeah,
funny. Like I had Deion Branch on before, and he told a story about how he played Tom Brady in ping pong, and Tom Brady ended up breaking a
yeah,
battle because he lost to him. Something like that, like a mini camp
yeah.
story or something. Like something that would
Yeah,
show
yeah. I
OBJ.
definitely got a story. Yeah, definitely. Oh, that's bro. Yeah, he's real cool. He's cool with all of us, and he's good about being himself around everybody.
Mhm.
He don't act one way, a certain way around another person, different around another. He's himself. Anyways, he brought all the boys over one day to his house, and we played. O has a he has a basketball, one of those arcade games in
Like
his
the
house.
pop shot game.
Yeah, pop shots. So me and him go at it, and the first game, my first game on there, I get a crazy score, but I call O's attention. I guess O never seen somebody get that much. So he hits the competitive button. He turns on his whatever button he has, superpower, and he gets some crazy more than me. He beats me. When he gets me, and I'm like, oh my god, because I just knew he didn't expect that. And look, I
Yeah.
was like, I was at pop shot, I was locked in, but gets on the thing, and he has to win. So he's like competitive just like me. So he gets on there and he outshoots me and stuff, and he's just feeling good. And I was like, wow. But yeah, though, that was crazy.
So do you? I mean, I feel like hearing the stuff that you're saying, I feel like he gets he gets a really bad rep from a lot of people. Like to me, that just sounds like he's a good teammate, and I don't know. Maybe some
Yeah,
people just
yeah,
it's because he spurned a huge market in New York and didn't want to be there anymore that I feel
yeah.
like he gets a bad rep. Like, would you say that that's definitely the case that he gets a bad rep for no reason?
Yeah, bro. Yeah, like that's a lot of people's stuff that they show us that they show the people show what they want to show. They don't show, what we see. Like that's what I'm saying. The plus stuff he does off the field, giving us stuff, letting us come over, going through his closet, and trying to help people out, asking people what they need, giving us cleats, gloves, all that. They don't see that, and what he does obviously for his communities and for other people, for kids and everything, all the charities and foundations he has. Yeah, they don't talk about that, but that's the media
Yeah.
nowadays. I guess they want to paint their own picture, but yeah, he's definitely a great person though. Oh yeah, he definitely as real as they come for sure.
So after you got called back up, 2 months
Mhm.
later, they actually they put you on the IR with an injury. What happened with that, and how is your recovery going now? I mean, I
Yeah,
read it was a neck injury, and seeing you
yeah,
nodding your head, it seems like you're probably doing all right. Are you back to 100%
yeah,
or pretty close
yeah.
to?
Definitely 100, bro. Definitely 100. Yep, it was some minor. Just football was a neck injury I had in practice. Just practicing being professionals. I had a stop block drill. And I actually thought it was a stinger. I was stopped by one of my teammates, Carl Joseph, if he's a safety. But, I just had a block about we just went heads up, made contact, we had full pads that day, but it wasn't nothing too major, wasn't nothing too intense, but it was just one of those things. I thought it was a stinger, and I even finished practice that day, and I practiced the following day, next day, and I didn't actually feel it till like 2-3 days later. And I just ended up telling the trainer, I thought it was a stinger, and then I ended up having to go get a X-ray, and they seen something that alarmed them, and they had to take caution and necessary steps, in that manner. So, and they ended up, and put me on IR and stuff like that. So, it's because it took longer than 2 weeks. So it was one of those cases. But my MRI, he ended up saying that it was something that I ended up sustaining like a while back, and it was something that was non-football related. But I've played sports all throughout it, so it really never affected me. It's just one of those little things. But as far as recovery, I'm 100%. Been doing physical therapy, rehab, everything, and yeah, definitely 100%. Yeah. So I got cleared. I just got cleared like last month. So I'm doing all activity, weightlifting, and stuff.
So
So yeah.
I got one more question, then we're going to do rapid fire questions.
Mhm.
So what's your plans going forward? Are you still with the Browns? Do you feel are you planning on staying with the Browns as long as they'll have
Yep.
you? Is it
Yep. Yep. Yep, I'm still with him, bro. My agent is actually in contract talks with him now. So, um, you know, um, from what I'm hearing, they are interested in bringing me back. So, but as far as the business aspect of it goes, you gotta go where the money is. Obviously, my agent knows that more than me. So, I'm gonna believe in him and believe in the process. And
is
what
that
he.
is that kind of intimidating almost? Not really. I don't know if intimidating is the right word. Uh, Unsettling maybe, because I know you go through the process of getting an agent and
Yeah.
you find someone that you trust, but at the end of the day, like, is it still tough to leave all that negotiation talk up to him and say,
It
hey,
is. It is, and it's crazy you said that. Yep, because that's one of the major components when it comes to agents, and that's one reason you see a lot of players they switching agents
yeah,
every however so often. But unfortunately for me, I've been blessed to like I said, believe in my agent that I've been having him since my rookie year. So from top
who,
to bottom, his resume.
who is your agent?
My agent is actually Jovan Barnes and Roosevelt Barnes. They're independent sports entertainment. So yeah, I see their agency. They represent football, basketball, and baseball. Yes, they do sports, NFL, MLB, NBA. So I believe they got a couple actors as well. So yeah, so as I said, it's a resume. The resume for this agency, it's definitely stellar for sure. But as far as my agent, yeah, I definitely trust him 100%. And but as you said though, you definitely got to be cautious, because there can be some uncertainties, when you trying to deal with an agent. But people, they are who they are at the end of the day.
Yeah.
But you definitely got to, in this business, protect yourself and stuff, because the players come first, obviously. So, but yeah, fortunately for me, it's been good. So definitely hoping that everything works out, and because I like Cleveland, I definitely wouldn't mind to be back. So if everything works out, definitely that's definitely what I'm expecting for sure, bro.
All right. So you ready for the rapid fire questions? You familiar with rapid fire questions? I ask you a
Yes,
question, you
sir.
say the
Yeah,
first
yeah.
thing comes.
Yes,
All right.
sir.
So these are the rapid fire questions are sponsored by Mike and Cheese. While you're in
Mm-hmm.
the Louisville area, I'll just let you know Mike and Cheese is a mac and cheese company. It's one of my close friends. It's the best mac and cheese in town. They got free delivery to the Louisville and Southern Indiana area. Just $15 minimum. You call them at 502-548-6845. And make sure you try the Beef's Beef Pizza Mac. It's the best macaroni and cheese on the menu. Are you ready for the rapid fire questions?
I might check them out tomorrow. Mac and cheese. Might check you out tomorrow for sure.
For sure. If you want, man, I'll send you the menu after we get done. All right. So
Yeah.
you ready?
Let's get it.
First one. Favorite pregame meal?
Pizza.
Pizza. All right. All right. Well, I guess it's going to answer the next question. Pizza or tacos?
Pizza.
All right. Wings or burgers?
I gotta go with wings.
All
Can't
right.
go wrong with them wings.
Here's a question off that. Flats or drums?
You can't go wrong with them flats, my guy.
I'm right there with you. Flats are the. Now this is a big one for me right here, Taywan. You might lose me. I
I'll
might
take
disconnect
all
the
flats.
interview if you say the wrong one on this one. French fries or tater
Uh,
tots?
I gotta go with the Frenchies, French fries
We're
all
good.
day.
We're good to keep moving forward then, because I'm right there
Okay,
with you.
good. I was about to say, dang, I'm about to lose connection.
All right, favorite movie.
Favorite movie. Mm-mm-mm. That's crazy, bro. Favorite movie. I gotta say, Friday After Next.
That's my favorite one of those three. It's not my favorite movie ever, but that's my favorite one of the
So what's
Friday
your favorite
trilogy.
one? Yeah.
Yeah. All right, favorite album all time, and then favorite album that's current.
Favorite album all time. Okay, favorite album all time. All time album. Mm. Favorite album all time. I have to say Nipsey Hussle's Mailbox Money. It's
Okay.
called Mailbox Money. And favorite current album right now. Mm, that's crazy. It has to be between. Has to be between. Dang, you said favorite album currently. A lot of good albums have came out currently.
I know.
This is rapid fire. I gotta say, I gotta go with. I gotta go with. I gotta go with. Man, I gotta go with. I gotta go with Lil Baby's. What's Lil Baby? I gotta go with Lil Baby's album.
I see. I've been having trouble going off of both the Louisville guys, ESTG and Harlow's albums. Both those.
Exactly. Yeah.
But that
Exactly.
ESTG album is if like I love Harlow's album. Harlow's album
Yeah.
is the best album he's done in my opinion because I feel like he grew so much going into this album.
Number
But
one
that
album to me. Yes.
but that ESTG album is very, very slept on by people that are not in this area. Like people in this
Yes.
area realize it, but I feel like people are not really giving that album the attention it deserves.
Exactly what you said. Yeah, Louisville's definitely in great hands with them too. But
And
yeah, Lil Baby, I gotta go with Lil Baby's album. I mean, that's what I'm saying. Currently, it's so many rappers, but as
yeah.
far as like my favorite, I got Lil Baby. It's just he's number one.
All right. Favorite
Oh,
flavor of ice cream.
favorite flavor ice cream. Oh, strawberry.
Biggest fear.
Biggest fear.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta say hornets. Like hornets stinging you and like getting all around. Like
That's
I
pretty
hate hornets.
specific, but man, yeah, I can
Yeah.
see where you're coming from. All right. This is one, so it's a three-headed question. Favorite restaurant in Louisville, Nashville, and in Cleveland.
Favorite restaurant in Louisville. Favorite restaurant in Louisville. I'm gonna have to say. This is supposed to be rapid fire. You giving me all these crazy questions like favorite restaurant in Louisville. I gotta say Kanza.
Okay. What
Uh,
about Nashville?
Kanza. In Nashville, I have to say Fleming's.
And what about
Fleming's
Cleveland?
Steakhouse. And in Cleveland, I have to say, dang, I don't think I had the best food in Cleveland yet. Cleveland, I have to say, Angie Soul Food.
Well, that sounds like two places I need to try now whenever I go to Nashville and Cleveland.
Yeah, Angie Soul Food, bro. I try to have a. It was a one or two winner, but I gotta go with Angie's.
All right, so this is another three-headed question. So the best player you ever played against in high school, we'll start out with that, basketball and football. Who's the best football player you played against in high school?
I gotta say James Quick.
What about basketball?
Ooh, I gotta say Quentin Snyder.
All right, best player you played against in college in football and the NFL. So we'll go the best player you played against in college and the NFL.
Best player I played against in college and football. Best player I played against in college is I gotta say I gotta say Marlon Humphrey in college, and NFL, I gotta say Jalen Ramsey.
That I couldn't imagine trying to get open on that guy. And plus, he's talking the whole time too. Like I couldn't even imagine like trying to get open and then him just talking to you the entire time. All right, so
that's what I'm saying. Him and Marlon. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
This is the last question here. Favorite basketball player of all time.
Oh man, come on now. That's a walk in the park. The chosen one. It's only one chosen one. You know what it is. I ain't got to say his name.
Favorite football player of all time.
That's a walk in the park too. Randy Moss. Go.
See, I swear that's why we're meant to be doing it. That's my favorite player ever.
Hey, bro. So, come on, bro.
I swear it. And I'm guessing the chosen one you're talking about LeBron.
Yes, sir.
You realize that you just named my two favorite players in both sports. Now this is if you name this one, then I don't know what I'm going to do because this can be just your favorite athlete. It doesn't even if it's one of those two you just named. Who's your favorite athlete ever?
All time. Gotta go Muhammad Ali. Hey, bro, walk up there.
So I got to show you one more thing because I didn't text you about this or anything once I got your number and all that stuff. I sent this to Javante when I got this, and I have to say, out of every autograph that I've ever seen, you have to have probably one of the coolest looking autographs I've ever seen. So
hey, bro,
I collect sports cards, and a while back I found a guy that was selling a bunch of cards, and I bought one of your cards. It's numbered to 25 when you were in Tennessee.
Yeah.
You can't even really see the autograph, but I think your autograph is one of the coolest autographs that I've ever seen. Definitely can tell that you spent time when you were supposed to be doing tests and PRP working on your autograph.
That's from all that Panini autograph signing I did when I went to the rookie premiere too. I'm like, golly, signed about 1 million cards.
So there's a question that's off script there because I'm a huge sports collector. All right, sports car collector. What is that like? I mean, one, it's probably cool, but like, is it just like, hey, here's a sheet of stickers, sign all of them? That's what they tell you to do. So you don't even know what card it's going on.
And I'm just signing stickers. Sometimes they give you those little player cards with your picture. I'm signing those, but just a big palette of freaking stickers. I'm like, wow. You want me to sign them all right now, huh? Just look at me, just drop them. That's what I'm thinking. Like, oh my goodness, can I get a break? Like, oh my goodness.
Like, if you had to
estimate, finish whenever you want. Come back tomorrow.
If you had to estimate, how many of those did you think you had to sign? Like thousands, or a couple hundred, or what would you think you had to sign?
Oh yeah, 3,000 for sure.
Jeez,
and the stickers is 1,000. That's only the stickers. So
and that's the crazy thing, man. Is
you
had to sign 3,000.
They would send them to my house,
and your autograph still looked that good. I mean, it's kind of hard to see because it's got a light on it, but your autograph still looked that neat, and you had to sign 3,000 stickers. That's insane, man.
Bro, bro. I felt like I was writing all day. I promise. I don't miss that.
So, is there anything like you want? Like, is there like any way people? How can people find you on social media to follow you on like Twitter and Instagram and stuff? And like,
I got Instagram. I haven't been on a while, but I got Instagram for sure. They can follow me on Instagram at Silent Grind 2, man. Follow me on there. I'm on Twitter too as well. Silent Grind. That's my name on Twitter. My handles are, and then I actually got Facebook too. I just started getting on Facebook, so my name's Taywan Taylor on there, so you can follow me on Facebook as well. So, but yeah, as I said, I had my activity on Instagram and Twitter. Yeah, hasn't been really active here lately, but try to get back into it.
For sure, with Taywan, I appreciate you so much taking time out for me, man. I appreciate you taking time out.
I appreciate you having me, bro.
Absolutely. I'll have to come up and get Javante to come up and watch a game or something up in Cleveland or something.
For sure, bro. Yes, I said I was my bad about last week, bro. I couldn't something came up stuff, but yes, I said I had to make time today. So
absolutely. And I appreciate it. I appreciate it more than you ever know. And anytime you want to come back on, or I'll try to get you back on a different time, maybe after a couple more years or something.
Yeah.
You start making Pro Bowls and winning Super Bowls, we'll get you back on here.
Facts for sure, bro. Let me know. Let me know. Yeah, stay in touch with me and do that for sure.
All right, Taywan, I appreciate you taking time out, man. Have a good one.
All right, bro. You too.